The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 4 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 3 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 2 minutes. Follow the show on Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app and be a part of the show via the live interactive chat room. You can text your thoughts to 404-902-8104. Check out the Facebook live stream at facebook.com/OneMicWithBigMike. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 1 minute. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 30 seconds. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2.
One mic.
I'm back.
It's the One Mic with Big Mike show. Live,
Ain't no goddamn tape.
interactive, and on demand. One Mic. Yeah, a sports show.
The best move of LeBron's career, man, was dragging his sweaty ball sack right across Draymond Green's the nape of his neck and getting that dude suspended.
And so much more.
What's going on right now with Donald Trump? This is America, and it tickles me to death when white people are so shocked and appalled by it.
What? It's the One Mic with Big Mike show.
Of course, it's like anything, like ammonia or you sniffing glue is gonna get you high.
You've been warned. The One Mic with Big Mike show starts now. Here he is.
He's real cocky, he's real loudmouth, he's real flamboyant. He don't cow down to people.
Big Mike.
And welcome in to the One Mic with Big Mike show, Hump Day edition of the One Mic with Big Mike show, trying to get you ready for the weekend in this short Labor Day shortened week. Don't forget the show is being heard live right now on Spreaker.com, spelled Spreaker.com. Also, Spreaker has an app for all your mobile devices, so make sure you go ahead and download that as well. You can also hear the show live on TuneIn if you already got that on your phone or your tablet or whatnot. And, of course, you can check out the website, OneMicWithBigMike.com. I'm there as well every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. If you don't get a chance to check out the entire show, or you want to tell your friends about it, tell them they can get it on demand on all four of those platforms, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. I got the Facebook live stream pumping right now on the Facebook page, so make sure you head on over there if you'd like to, see what's going on behind the scenes. I guess really it's nothing. I'm sitting here in a chair speaking into this microphone. But feel free to partake, man. Just head over to Facebook.com/1MICWITHBIGMIKE. That's the same handle you want to use to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you like the Facebook page while you're there as well. If you want to be involved in the show, which I do suggest, get involved in the conversation by texting me at 404-902-8104. Also, you can leave your comments and questions below the live streaming video if you're checking it out, or you can jump on inside my live interactive chat room here on Spreaker, where you guys can, we can go back and forth a little bit more than we can on with a text message or whatever. We can have a little bit more of an interactive conversation via the chat room. You do so by listening via Spreaker or the Spreaker app or my website, OneMicWithBigMike.com. And you will see a little thought bubble icon sitting right there on the streaming player. Just click on that, and it'll get you inside my live and interactive chat room. Excuse me. So, yeah, it's Wednesday. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. As far as today's show go, starting next Wednesday, by the way. My man, Matt Latofsky from the Sporting News, my fantasy football expert, my main man, he's going to start joining me next Wednesday to get us ready for fantasy football season each and every week so we can get our lineup set and give us some sound, professional fantasy advice. I figured this being the first week, you drafted your teams, you got it. You got it right now. But from here on out, either he or my guy Rob from over in London will be joining me to get us ready each and every week of fantasy football, which this week I'm screwed. But we'll get to that here in just a second. At the bottom of the hour, I'll take you guys back in time and give you guys a little history lesson with my segment on this day, where I give you guys some historical tidbits and factoids on the happenings of this particular day in history. As far as topical things today, we're going to talk about the possible death of the NFL. A lot of people have been talking about this for some years now. The death of the NFL. When is the bottom going to finally fall out? I read a pretty interesting article today that I don't necessarily agree with, but I decided I'd have a little bit of discussion about it if I possibly can. The one thing I didn't get into on Monday, I told you guys I was going to talk about LeVar Ball and his newest crackpot scheme that he's got going on, and I'm really trying to get to it today before I get off this microphone today. Got an NFL kickoff tomorrow. The season finally starts, so that means a couple of different things. And tonight I want to start off talking about this, though. I want to start talking about this next hurricane that's on its way to the United States of America. It's already devastated. I think Barbuda is heading toward Puerto Rico now. It's supposed to, or it's projected to hit Florida. And that's kind of got like a personal attachment to me. My parents are in Florida, and my dad's being an ass not leaving. I called him and texted him yesterday, like, look, man, you need to dip. You need to bounce today. Like, I don't know what you're waiting on, but y'all got to go. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we just gonna monitor it, and then we'll make a move when the time. Nah, it's like I'm telling him, like, dude, if you try to leave once you get the information, it's gonna be too late. It's gonna be you and everybody else leaving out of a state that there's only one way out. You know what I mean? It's not like here in Georgia, right? If something were to happen, not like a flood or whatever, because you don't want to go east from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? If it's a situation like what's about to happen, because you're gonna go right into it. But either way, in Florida, in Georgia, if you had to get out of Atlanta, I can go south, I can go north, I can go west. With Florida, you just got to go north. Everybody's got to get on 75 north. You know what I'm saying? So imagine, I don't know, 7 million people all at once trying to dip up out the state. So, I'm dealing with that. My pops is being a jerk about, just leaving and coming here and just saying, like, the whole better safe than sorry situation. Nah, not him. He's a jerk. You know what I'm saying? He's got my mom down there trying to wait out this damn storm. And like, I'm not like, this is why, man. This is why I'm not like spiritual or hoping and praying and all that. Like, I'm a very practical person. You know what I'm saying? When the people who know more than I know, whether I think they're jerks or whether I think they're idiots or not, the weathermen, they obviously know more than me. They was right about this hurricane Harvey. They was damn right about that. So when they say, look, you need to bounce Category 5. I don't know what Category 5 means. I just know it's worse than 4, which was what the thing was last week. And when they say it's the worst thing in like over a decade, yeah, that means something. So it's that. Plus, you know what I'm saying, my old lady works for FEMA. So she comes in here yesterday like, well, they're talking about we need to be ready. We need to get our bags packed because we don't have to be deployed because Florida is her territory. I forgot what the title is, but she has to be the one to go down there and assess the damage and get people's money right for the stuff that's damaged and all this kind of stuff. So then that may be happening. She may have to leave for like months after the storm hits. So it's like so much craziness with this whole, this hurricane stuff. And for the people who don't really understand, man, this climate change thing, like it's real. You know what I'm saying? And like, I don't believe that there's anything that can be done about it now. The scientists saying like it's been set off into a perpetual motion to where ain't no stopping it. These storms are just going to get worse and more violent. So these people who live on these coasts, people like in Miami, like Miami's going to disappear. Parts of New York probably going to disappear at some point. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And not to mention also too, in a much lesser way of speaking, but this damn hurricane has screwed my fantasy team. I had 3 Buccaneers on my team. 3. Only 2 were starting, Mike Evans and Jameis Winston. Now I had to drop him and get Andy Dalton. I got Devontae Parker was on my bench too, the wide receiver from the Dolphins. Him and Jacquizz Rodgers, you know what I mean? So just to add salt to the wounds, I got to deal with that. It's just been I already wasn't very confident in my team as it stood. But now there's this. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot. So if I come across as distracted today, you MFers know why. 404-902-8104 if you want to text the show. If you want to chime in here on the Facebook live stream, I'm there as well. At One Mike with Big Mike. At the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. That's where you can find me on Facebook. Make sure you like the page. And you can drop your comments and questions and whatever. If you got people that's down there about to deal with the and by the way, I was just playing about the fantasy thing. I don't care about that stuff. But my dad is being a jerk. And that I'm concerned about. They old. You know what I'm saying? They old. And I'm concerned about that. And they like 6 hours away. And I can't get to them. If something was to happen, just like really, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a person that gets unnerved easily. And like his black ass, whatever, man. But my mom's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, she's just there because he's there. And it's I'm lightweight pissed off about it. My sister can't get him to move or nothing. And it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. So anyway, I mentioned my fantasy team, and part of reason my fantasy team is screwed, because the NFL has postponed the Buccaneers Dolphins game this Sunday in light of the storm hitting or whatever, Irma hitting. They didn't move it. I mean, which it seems like they probably could have. They got plenty of time. Didn't they move a game to Detroit during Hurricane Sandy? This has all the makings of, look, man, I'm not moving. Like, where's the game supposed to be played at? Was it supposed to be played in Miami? Yeah, because Miami's already losing another game to London, right? So they're like, hell no, we ain't losing 2 home games. This is ridiculous. And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if it's not being played in Miami. But I feel like I know this game is being played in Miami, or was supposed to be played in Miami. It will be played in Miami on Week 11 because both teams had Week 11 byes. Which means, by the way, the Buccaneers and the Dolphins, 2 teams that could compete for at least wild card spots. And the Buccaneers, let's keep it real, the Buccaneers have as good a chance as any in the NFC South of winning that division. I don't see the Falcons as any type of powerhouse. The Panthers could have a bounce back year after that Super Bowl hangover last year. And then you got the Saints, who, they've always got a chance in the game when Drew Brees is behind center and Sean Payton's calling plays. They can score points or whatnot. So the NFC South is what it is. And I think as far as the Dolphins are concerned, I don't know. Jay Cutler, your guess is as good as mine. But, for what it's worth, if you're gonna put me in a box and you make me have to, choose which one of those 4 teams in the East, AFC East, has a chance of winning a wild card, not necessarily unseating the Patriots. I wouldn't pick the Bills. They're garbage. Who's the other? The Jets? Hell no. They're 1,000 to 1 to win the Super Bowl. Vegas odds got them at 1,000 to 1. I'm gonna keep my dollar. Yeah, because you could put a dollar on to win 1,000, but what's the difference? Like, I'd rather just take my dollar and play the damn lotto. I mean, the odds are longer, but still, you know what I'm saying? There's more money coming my way, just like the basic lotto. Not even like when it hits like $500 million or nothing. So yeah, I wouldn't put no damn dollar on the sorry ass Dolphins. That's crazy. Yeah, these Facebook things are crazy. People on Facebook are, I don't know, man. Like, when I stop doing this show, I'm totally done with Facebook, man. Like, because people on this situation are like imbeciles and ridiculous. And hopefully before the show's over, I can give you guys some insight on what I'm talking about. But yeah, the whole player safety thing, F that. These guys got to play 16 straight weeks of professional NFL football. You know what I mean? No bye week, no time to rest. They're resting after. I just thought about this. They're resting after the third preseason game, because no one played in that 4th game. So they got last week off, and then this week off. Then they got to go on a 16-week marathon of brutality and brain injury for 16 straight weeks with no time off. Yeah, NFL. Yeah, your bluff has been called. They could have moved this game. Come on now, they could have moved it. Couple different places, couldn't they? I don't know, because I mean, to a smaller extent, there's stadiums in Alabama. Tennessee has stadiums. I don't know where the Vols are playing this weekend. There's things that you can do, and I understand the NFL is saying they want people to be with their families during this time. But what sports team? They're letting the players' families travel with them, and I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the Marlins, the baseball team. Yeah, they've got the families of the players traveling with the team to get them out of that, to get them out of there. So, you know what I'm saying? When there's a will, there's a way. But the NFL just don't give a damn. Let's just keep that real, 100% real. They don't care. These dudes, like, let them just smash their heads into each other and turn their brains into pudding for 16 straight weeks, and everybody will forget. Like, that's the thing about tomorrow, because the season kicks off tomorrow. Chiefs and Patriots tomorrow on Thursday night. There's this funny thing that happens with football. As soon as the first kick is made, or the kickoff is attempted, everything else goes away. You know what I mean? Like, we forget about the Redskins not changing their name. We forget about people kneeling for for anthems and all this kind of stuff. It just goes away. Shout to the folks. That's like hashtag NFL blackout. Shout to y'all, but y'all can come around, and there's no shame in it. You know what I mean? It was a gallant effort, but the reality is what it is. Colin Kaepernick's not going to play no more football, man, because now these owners, they not going to be pressured. These rich white men, they're not going to be pressured in doing something that they don't want to do. You can count that out all the way. So now we got a situation where you can choose to not consume the product anymore, which doesn't make a difference because everything, all the money that the NFL is getting, TV deals and all this kind of stuff, it's already gotten. It's gotten for the next years to come. For the time that Colin Kaepernick would be out of the league anyway at some point. So it doesn't matter to them. They don't care. There's no. This is not creating an itch that they cannot afford to scratch, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, go watch football, man. Enjoy football. Part of me enjoying football is understanding what it is, understanding who runs the situation, understanding how hypocritical it is. Like, I feel like a hypocrite every time I watch college football, but I still watch it and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand the exploitation that's going on. I understand that these kids out there risking their bodies just as much as the pros are for what? Books and room and board. Yeah. They're not doing it for free. Keep telling yourself that, homies. Keep telling yourself that. But here, the main thing I wanted to talk about today, the main thing I wanted to touch on today, and it's something that I've hinted at, periodically in doing the show, like little by little, kind of like, giving you a little bit here, a little bit there. The concept of, shut up and play, or stick to sports, that people can't be multifaceted, or the illusion that fans don't feel like their sports figures should be multifaceted, or even like somebody like me who talks about sports shouldn't be multifaceted. Like, I can't talk about sports and talk about police brutality, or talk about systematic racism, or talk about the president being an idiot, or your president being an idiot. Excuse me. I can't do those things. Or I shouldn't, or I'm not able to do those things because people want to box me in. They want to box their sports figures in. And I bring that up because of something that I love to do. I love to bring up hypocrisy, especially in the world of sports. And because I hate sports fans, because I think you're the most blindly hypocritical people on earth. And here's what I mean. For the last year plus, we've all been going back and forth. A lot of us have been going back and forth about the rationale behind Colin Kaepernick first not standing for the national anthem, and behind guys raising fists during the national anthem, guys taking knees, and now Michael Bennett, Marshawn Lynch sitting again for the national anthem, things of that nature. We've all gone back and forth with somebody about the validity of that, and whether it's disrespectful to the flag, or disrespectful to the troops, or disrespectful to the song, or all these different things. When the reality is, it's a measure. It's a drastic measure taken in order to bring attention to one of the harshest forms of systematic racism in this country, and it's been going on for hundreds of years. Police brutality. When the slaves were emancipated, the overseers and the masters were replaced by law enforcement. They were the de facto overseers, and from then to now, a lot of it has remained the same. So the question that ends up coming to mind, though, is when do you expect people to stick to football? Is it only when someone is bringing up is standing on a subject that makes you uncomfortable, like police brutality, like the killing of unarmed black people by law enforcement? It seems that way because J.J. Watt, shout out to J.J. Watt, by the way. J.J. Watt has raised over $27 million to this point. I think I saw where Jimmy Fallon just gave another $1 to J.J. Watt. He started off with a goal of 200,000. You understand? 200,000. He's up to 27 million for the hurricane relief effort in Houston. That should be applauded. That should be a good thing. But the question is, what if J.J. Watt was like, well, that ain't in my lane. I'm sticking to football. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to sack quarterbacks and get tackles for losses and bat passes down. I need to stick to football. Me being in a social situation isn't what people allow me to do. What if he thought that way? And the bigger question is, why don't you? Why is this better? Why is this acceptable? He's saving lives. I would make the argument that Colin Kaepernick, Michael Bennett, Marshawn Lynch, Malcolm Jenkins, Kenny Stills, I would make the argument that these guys are trying to save lives as well. They're making an attempt. And we'll talk about Michael Bennett. I know you probably heard about what happened with Michael Bennett today. And there was a real weird Facebook back and forth that was going on right before the show started. And I'm going to get to that. I wonder about people, man. I just do. Also, shout out to Tracy McGrady and his wifey. They did a barbecue, man, for like 800 hurricane victims, man, feeding people, man, that, maybe were likely not even to get meals, man, because of all the devastation that's going on down there. But again, what if Tracy McGrady and his wifey was like, nah, man, we sports people. Tracy McGrady talk about sports now. He's on the jump with Rachel Nichols. You know what I'm saying? So what if he was just like, nah, y'all told me to stick to sports. You know what I'm saying? That sports is your getaway, and you don't want sports mixing with your social issues, not politics. Because I hate that. You know what I'm saying? When people describe what Colin Kaepernick and these cats are doing is politics. It ain't got nothing to do with politics. This is about human life. This is about Americans being terrorized in America by law enforcement. That's what that whole, I'm going to call it the Kaepernick protest, because it's not an anthem protest. No one's protesting an anthem. You know what I'm saying? The man just said, I'm not standing for something, that doesn't represent me. It doesn't stand for me. Like, who can make that argument? That's the one thing that really gets me. Not the one thing. That's one of the things that gets me. That with everything that's being said about being disrespectful, Jim Brown saying, I'll never disrespect my anthem. Like, dude, do you even know what the lyrics are to that song? Do you even realize the dude who wrote it was a racist? How are you disrespecting something, or how are you refusing to disrespect something that clearly disrespects you? It boggles the mind. It absolutely.
Yeah, mind-boggling.
Yeah.
When things are so crazy, it gets your thoughts all trapped like in a bottle.
Like in a bottle. It's mind-boggling. But over time, man, I've realized, as I get older, I'm 40 years old now. So as I get older, man, I tend to realize more and more how people's minds can be sculpted to believe things that aren't true. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about, we talk about, got a booger. We talk about, that was gross as hell. I know, my bad. We talk about Stockholm Syndrome, right? And Colin Kaepernick, I tweeted it out on, the 4th of July. You know what I'm saying? People talking about, Independence Day. Black people talking about Independence Day, 4th of July. I'm like, come on, man. You've been fooled. You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked, like my man, like Malcolm X said. You know what I'm saying? That day has nothing to do with you. Because as soon as they got through with the bombs bursting in the air, they was busting off in your back with a whip, telling you to pick cotton or barley or wheat or rice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that is part of what Stockholm Syndrome is, when you start taking on the values of your captors. So when you see Ray Lewis, which we'll talk about him here in just a second as well, you see guys like Ray Lewis, you know what I'm saying? And we'll start talking about guys like Jim Brown, Like, and I know that like the popular thing to do. Y'all never hear me do that on this show. Do this. You start talking about coon. He's cooning and timing and I'm not really there with mine. You know what I mean? Like the name calling is what it is. If that's your racket, by all means. But you know what I mean? It's not really mine. I just it's in ways it's disheartening, man. You know, people who have the ears of the public and people who have the ears of white people go out of their way not to offend, not to have their blackness offend, those particular white people. It's just, it's real, it's weird to say the least. This is the One Mic with Big Mike show. We got a couple minutes left in this segment here on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, as well as on TuneIn and the One Mic with Big Mike.com website. Make sure you tell a friend, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. I'm here live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 7 o'clock. Here being Spreaker, like I mentioned, as well as on Facebook Live. Just head on over to Facebook. I'm at the number one MICWITHBIGMIKE. And the other thing that gets ignored, man, the NFL takes up many social causes that no one bats an eye about. As much as y'all love to talk about, stick to sports. My sports is a release. It's an escape from life. I don't want those things bleeding into each other. Well, first of all, too bad for you. But second of all, you don't say nothing about the NFL and them being the champions behind ending domestic violence. No matter how ratchet and ridiculous the rules and the investigations, no matter how much they botch these things, you guys don't bat an eye. You feel like they're doing the right thing. You speak about them as though there's some sort of legal entity, legal or innocent and guilty. None of that applies to the NFL. None of it. They're flying by the seat of their pants, playing a very, very sick and devious PR game with a very serious subject of beating up women. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They just know that doing something, they feel like doing something is what's required of them because of the Ray Rice situation. I said initially, when the Ray Rice thing happened and people lost their damn mind and Ray Rice got 2 games, Roger Goodell and the NFL should have told all those people to go straight to hell. This is what it is. He's being suspended for 2 games. But instead, they dug themselves into a deeper hole, lying about not getting tapes. When TMZ was like, hey, can we just get the tape? Like, you the NFL. The story came out that the NFL did have the tape. The Baltimore Ravens, I don't know if you guys even remember this. Like, Ray Rice was at practice. You know what I'm saying? He did a press conference after practice. All his teammates was there. The Harbaughs were there. The owners were there. Everybody was supporting Ray. A couple days later, the firestorm hit. Ray suspended indefinitely, which the courts ended up finding that was illegal. You can't double jeopardy somebody. You know what I mean? You can't punish them twice for the same thing. So the Ravens had to pay out money. The suspension was then only 4 games, I guess it was, but it didn't really matter because after everything hit, Ray Rice wasn't playing no more football. And again, maybe he shouldn't have. But it was the total ridiculousness of the whole situation is what I'm talking about. But no one cares about that. No one cares that the NFL has become the champion of this issue, this social issue. Like remember after the Ray Rice thing, they had the PSAs running and Chris Carter's on the PSA crying and I don't know, Steph Curry and all these people. We've got to stop these uncomfortable PSAs that really meant nothing. But no one batted an eye. It feels like it's only when we're talking about black people being mistreated in America that white people have a problem with. Then your social stance is unacceptable then. We'll come back, man. We'll continue this conversation. I got to get into this Ezekiel Elliott situation since we are talking about the NFL's take on domestic violence, and he seems to be now the new poster boy for that cause. Suspended 6 games, the suspension being upheld yesterday, but there's some other things that I want to kind of delve into a little bit more with this. So we'll come back after this break, do on this day, take you guys back in time, give you guys some historical factoids and tidbits, and then we'll get into some more of this stick to sports attitude that so many of you idiots have and really believe, I think you really believe that sports can be separate in some way from society. We'll do that next here on the One Mic with Big Mike show.
I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And now, back to One Mic
What are we waiting for? Let's get to it.
with Big Mike.
Hell yeah. Let's get on over the rest of this hump, man. Wednesday here on the One Mic with Big Mike show. Appreciate everybody for joining me here on Spreaker.com. The Spreaker app that's available for all your mobile devices. Tune in, and of course, the One Mic with Big Mike.com website. Make sure you holler at your boy. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the number 1 MICWITHBIGMIKE. You can also use that same handle to like my Facebook page and check out the Facebook live stream going on right now on Facebook. You can get involved in the show by texting 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room here on Spreaker. If you're listening via Spreaker, just hit that little thought bubble icon that you see. It'll get you up inside my live interactive chat room. Also, make sure you hit the little heart button to indicate that you like the show. And those little share icons as well, man. Share me with all your people, man, so that they know I'm here. I'm here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, man, starting at 7 o'clock. Doing my thing, man. Yeah, you know what? Let's go ahead and do it. Usually I try to read a little weird, wacky little story before. But I want to get back into this conversation, this this stick to sports type attitude that really bothers me about sports fans, especially in the climate that we live in right now. I think it's one of the more ignorant and stupid things, stupid ways to be. So, without further ado, let's take a look back.
Now, let's take a look back.
On this day.
All right. For your hump day edition of On This Day in 1904, Frank Smith of the Chicago White Sox pitched a no-hitter against the Detroit Lions. That's not a really big feat. No-hitters get pitched all the time, right? But this game set a record for the most lopsided margin of victory for a no-hitter in AL history, 15-0. Talk about run support and also wasting it, too. You could have gave up a couple hits, bruh. On this day in 1943, the youngest player to appear in an American League Baseball game was pitcher Carl Scheib of the Philadelphia Athletics. Scheib was 16 years, 8 months, 5 days old. A child playing in the majors. How does that work? On this day in 1972, the Summer Olympics resumed in Munich, West Germany, a day after the deadly hostage crisis took the lives of 11 Israelis and 5 Arab abductors. On this day in 1976, Steve Yeager was seriously injured when part of a broken bat struck him in the throat. He was waiting in the on-deck circle when the incident occurred. That sucks. He's talking about bad luck. That sucks balls. On this day in 1981, Fernando Valenzuela of the Dodgers tied a National League record for 7 shutouts by a rookie pitcher. Remember Fernando Mania? On this day in 1981, Los Angeles police detective Mark Furman invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination at the O.J. Simpson trial. Yeah, O.J. what is this? What is this, September? Yeah, a couple more weeks. Hide your wives, hide your kids. O.J. back on these streets.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
No, yes you do. And finally, on this day in 1995, Cal Sweetbrown, Cal Ripken played his 2,131st consecutive game, setting a new record, breaking Lou Gehrig's record of consecutive games played, obviously. And that is your hump day, your Wednesday edition of On This Day. I always have to laugh at my girl Sweet Brown. Anyway, so before we went to break, we were talking about the concept of, the whole shut up and play situation, or sorry, I was reading my Facebook thing. The whole, keep your social issues out of my sports. I come here to escape from my life. Like, how terrible is your life that you just like, you know what I mean? Let me turn on NFL Network so I can not think about anything else relevant to actual humanity. Golly, man. What this world that we live in, man, and maybe I just do sound like the old dude saying that, but whatever. So anyway, talking about the NFL and their stance on, their perceived stance on domestic violence. And, you have the Ezekiel Elliott situation. Yesterday it was announced that his suspension, 6 games, was upheld by what was supposed to be an independent arbiter, but he works for Roger Goodell in the NFL. I guess I think he said like his job is to have Roger Goodell's back. Doesn't sound real independent to me, but yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? The suspension's being upheld. But Ezekiel Elliott will be allowed to play this Sunday night against the who they're playing, the New York Giants, in prime time. Which people gonna have some questions. Like, how's that a thing? But it's just one of those things that I guess due to a competitive advantage situation, they always want to give teams enough time to know when players aren't going to be available, both the Giants and the Cowboys. So he'll be able to play. He is filing, I guess, an injunction or whatever. I've got a list here of things that you should know about this whole Ezekiel Elliott thing. The NFL players filed a motion last week for a temporary restraining order. The temporary restraining order would freeze the suspension while Elliott or the NFLPA pursue a lawsuit to get the suspension overturned permanently. And I think that's pretty much got to be the end game. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't talking about deflating football. We're talking about labeling this dude as a woman beater. You know what I mean? And that hasn't served well for Greg Hardy. It didn't serve well for Ray Rice. What's the other dude's name? Jonathan Dwyer. Didn't Jonathan Dwyer get into some stuff? He was out of the league so fast after that happened. Like the next day they cut him, and we haven't heard from Jonathan Dwyer since. Maybe I should look him up and try to get him on the show. Note taken. Like a couple guys, right? This kid Josh Brown, like he tried to skirt it for a minute, but it caught up to his ass too. And then the next thing you know, commissioner's exempt list. Just recently, Rashid Hageman, kid that was down here in Atlanta playing D tackle, put on the commissioner's exempt list and then cut from the team because of a domestic violence arrest. And then he probably won't play again anywhere. That exemption list is like death. You know what I'm saying? That's like welcome to hell, MFer. I mean, you're done playing football. And again, the Greg Hardy situation didn't make it any better. People taking a chance on guys with that type of I guess history and not panning out for them on the football field is makes it a little bit harder for anybody else to go that route. So we're gonna find out about the decision on this temporary restraining order on Friday, in 2 days, to figure out whether it'll be a one and done situation. He'll play this one game, then have to serve his suspension through week 8, 9, or whatever it is, because they got a bye week in there somewhere. So he'll go through like whatever 6 plus that week. So it'd be like week 8 or 9 or whatever. Through week 8 will be the suspension. He'll come back week 9 is what I'm trying to say. Now, if the stay is denied, the suspension will shift to the Cowboys' second through the 7th game. Now, Elliott could sue the league in an attempt to reverse the suspension while he serves it, which is what Tom Brady did. He took him to court and he played the whole year and then got suspended the following year for the 4 games when it all kind of just fell apart. Now, here's the thing I want people to understand, too, about this situation. Like, this is not a situation where they're relitigating this case. They're not going and saying, look, here's our evidence. You judge the case as you see it, new judge. No, they have to prove that the process is flawed. That's where it all falls apart. That's where it all fell apart for Tom Brady. They're going to say, because the judge said, like in Tom Brady's situation, this is a collectively bargained thing. This is something that all you guys agreed to. So this guy having the power to just say you're suspended, because I feel like you should be suspended, no matter what Kia Roberts, who was the lead investigator, says. She's the one she's the only one to speak to the girl. She's the only one to speak to any of the witnesses, and she told them that, look, I find the testimony flawed, and I don't think any punishment should be levied. Well, they was like, F that, suspended anyway. We don't care. We don't care how flawed the freaky testimony was. Suspended. Like, wait, hold on. What part of the game is that? I mean, like you put somebody in place to be a lead investigator, and when they come back with their findings, and when their findings aren't what you thought they should be, you just say, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and scrap that and do what we want to do. But that's the NFL, man. That's why I say, man, you can't look at these people as any type of credible, like legal type of running operation. I know I just butchered that, but you get what I'm saying. So that goes to what the NFLPA is going to argue, right? They're going to argue against the word of the woman, which I think they have ground to stand on based on what I just told you, right? The woman that the NFL continues to identify as the victim, by the way, and that's some foul stuff. She is an accuser in the eyes of the real law. She's an accuser. She's not a victim. You know why? Because this guy hadn't even been arrested, much less charged or convicted of anything. And that's like bad. That's a bad look, man. So for all the white people that got bent out of shape when I posted that picture of Roger Goodell beating the slave Ezekiel Elliott, understand, this is what I'm talking about. Where this guy, who you can't even say he was not guilty because there was no trial, there was none of that stuff, has been painted by his employer as already. This is even before any of the case has been finalized. This woman has already been labeled a victim of what and by who? That's bad pool, man. That's janky ass pool, man. So the NFLPA, pointed out that the only NFL investigator, which was Kia Roberts, she argued against the discipline. Like I said, right? They're using words like conspiracy when it comes to this thing. And again, man, the NFL needs to look good in these situations, or they feel the need to look good, even if they look stupid while thinking they look good. But again, hear me again when I say this, man. Whoever they appeal to, whatever judge they appeal to, is only going to be judging whether the process itself was credible. And that's going to be that's a steep mountain to climb, man. That's a real steep mountain to climb. And the best that Ezekiel Elliott can hope for is to play enough games to get the team off to a good enough start, man. You know what I mean? Because inevitably, Darren McFadden is going to pull his hamstring because he's Darren McFadden. You don't really know what you're getting out of Alfred Morris. You got Jalen Smith brothers back there too. He's a bruising running back, but none of these dudes are Ezekiel Elliott. You know what I'm saying? None of them. Shout out to Bobby, man. Bobby's checking in here on the old Facebook live stream. What up, dog? So it's going to be interesting, man. But again, none of you guys who complain about Colin Kaepernick or Michael Bennett or Martellus Bennett or any of these guys showing their disdain for the way black people are treated by law enforcement in this country. None of you people who have a problem with that have a problem with the NFL doing this, with this being their social issue. Next month, when everybody's wearing pink, ain't nobody going to say, you know what? Stick to sports, man. Just play football. You don't got to wear pink. Why y'all care about breast cancer? No one's going to say that. No one's going to ask Eli Manning why he cares about human trafficking or bullying, or why what's his name? Hugh Jackson cares about bullying or human trafficking. I'm sorry. No one cares. No one's going to say anything about that, because the consensus is that all these things can be agreed upon as egregious. Meanwhile, you sane people can find a reason as to why the police can shoot a black person in cold blood and just go home. Nothing to see here. Oh, my body camera didn't work this time. Oh, I shot him in the back. Well, I thought he was reaching for something. Really? I was scared. They love that one. I was scared. Why? Of his blackness? Oh, speaking of the NFL stepping into stuff as well. This is gonna tickle you to death. Michael Irvin. They doing that thing, boy. They out for old Cowboys and new Cowboys and old Cowboys. Yeah. Remember Michael Irvin a couple months ago got into some stuff with a young lady, and the law ended up intervening and saying the same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. There's nothing to see here, man. This young lady said Michael Irvin, she can remember fighting him off. Well, the police was like, nah, no DNA evidence here. When this happened in March, a 27-year-old Florida woman alleged that she felt sick after returning to Irvin's hotel room. Dude, man, just stick to your wifey, B. You know what I mean? Like, you 51. I know the trappings of these 27, these young girls is real. But my man, you got bigger fish to fry, cuz, than her. So anyway, she felt sick after returning to Irvin's hotel room, and the last thing she remembers is fighting him off. That's what she told the police. Of course, Michael Irvin denied it. Somewhere around June or something, July, the police was like, nah, no DNA evidence to establish that a sexual battery occurred. Michael Irvin said he was, quote unquote, flat out devastated. And at one point, I remember him saying that he would pay for her to get counseling after the fact. It's like, come on, B, you going too far, man. Just like take the dub and move on, my guy. Like, you don't have to be the extra dude to be like, that girl has problems and I just want to help her get past. No, dude, walk away. So now, yeah, the NFL, they coming for him. The NFL is going to investigate this situation, even though the real law, said there's nothing to see here. Apparently, Michael Irvin falls under of course, he works for the NFL Network. Let's see where I find this. Yeah. Okay, the league possesses the power to conduct its own investigation or punish the NFL Network commentator under the personal conduct policy, which covers, quote, owners, coaches, players, other team employees, game officials, and employees of the league office, NFL Films, NFL Network, or any other NFL business. Yeah, son. See, this is one of those things, like, you don't have to do all that, man. The NBA don't do it. I think Major League Baseball has some things involved, but, like, there's situations that have, like, when dudes, like, pulling guns out on brides and all. Like, when you start having these situations, these real sticky situations where it's my word against her word. In this situation, the girl doesn't clearly remember what happened. She kind of remembers having to fight him off. It's going to be interesting. Just know this is the beginning of something, but it's going to be interesting to see how this situation plays out in its entirety. Yeah. So while we're talking about police brutality, right? I kind of skipped. I skipped and then I'm going back now. To the people who have issue with players voicing disapproval with the way the police treat black people, some police treat some black people in this country. Michael Bennett shared a letter today, and yeah, I got time. I want to read the entire letter to you guys. Damn, it's small as hell. Crap. Oh, there it is. All right. I'm going to read the entire letter because it's important to hear all this. And then we're going to talk about the reaction to this letter. The ridiculous reaction to this letter. It starts off, okay. Dear world, on Saturday, August 26, 2017, I was in Las Vegas to attend the Mayweather-McGregor fight on my day off. After the fight, while heading back to my hotel, several hundred people heard what sounded like gunshots. Like many other people in the area, I ran from the sound looking for safety. Las Vegas police officers singled me out and pointed their guns at me for doing nothing more than simply being a black man in the wrong place at the wrong time. A police officer ordered me to get on the ground. As I laid on the ground, complying with his commands to not move, he placed his gun near my head and warned me that if I moved, he would, quote, blow my effing head off. Terrified and confused by what was taking place, the second officer came over and forcefully jammed his knee into my back, making it difficult for me to breathe. They then cinched the handcuffs on my wrist so tight that my fingers went numb. The officer's excessive use of force was unbearable. I felt helpless as I lay there on the ground, handcuffed, facing the real life threat of being killed. All I could think of was, quote, I'm going to die for no other reason than I'm a black man and my skin color is somewhat of a threat, end quote. My life flashed before my eyes as I thought of my girls. Would I ever play with them again or watch them have kids or be able to kiss my wife again and tell her I love her? I kept asking the officer, what did I do? And reminding them that I had rights they were duty bound to respect. The officers ignored my pleas and instead told me to shut up and then took me to the back of a nearby police car where I sat for what I felt like was an eternity until they apparently realized I was not a thug, common criminal, or ordinary black man, but Michael Bennett, a famous professional football player. After confirming my identity, I was ultimately released without any legitimate justification for the officer's abusive conduct. I have always held a strong conviction that protesting or standing up for justice is just simply the right thing to do. The fact is unequivocally, without question, why before every game I sit during the national anthem, because equality doesn't live in this country. And no matter how much money you have, what job title you have, or how much you give, when you are seen as an N-word, you will be treated that way. The system failed me. I can only imagine what Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, Tamir Rice, Charlene Lyles felt. I have retained Oakland civil rights attorney John Burns to investigate and explore my legal options, including filing a civil rights lawsuit for the violation of my constitutional rights. Sincerely, Michael Bennett. And what's crazy about this was that people really felt like this was some sort of ploy. You know what I mean? Like immediately like, oh, where's the video? If all this happened, where was the video? Look here. First, let me say this first. Tupac was killed on the Strip, murdered on the Strip, and there's no video. Subsequently, in this case, there was. So then the video came out. TMZ, of course, TMZ got a hold of someone's cell phone cam or cell phone video because apparently that's what's needed to believe this black man was brutalized by the police. Kind of. Because even after the video came out, then it became, well, hold on, what happened to the gun? He said it was a gun in his head. I want to see that part. Or this. Well, what was he doing before that to make them do that? It's like, how do we get there? Like, how do we get to that point where even after as many incidents like this we've seen that turned out way worse, how do we get to that point where we have to be that skeptical? Like, what does he gain from lying that elaborately as well? What does he gain from that? He don't need no more money. He don't need to sue the police, get more money. He don't need no more notoriety. The people who hate him already hate him for what he's doing. The people who like him for what he's doing. He don't need no more. This false narrative that he's using the Colin Kaepernick protest in some way to improve his own profile is just fundamentally stupid. And it makes no sense. Like, if you just look at it through clear glasses, it makes no sense for him to do that. It proves no further. No, the point isn't proven any further than it's already been proven. That some of these cops is foul. And they watch too much damn TV. And they feel like that being big and black is a crime in and of itself. And if you see the video, it's on my Facebook page. If you guys want to check it out, at the number 1, MICWITHBIGMIKE. If you haven't seen the video, it's on my Facebook page. Just go and scroll down a little bit. You'll see it somewhere there. Like, you can hear the fear in this big ass dude. You can hear the fear in his heart, man. That is this my turn? Is this my goal? The time where I make some sort of move in which, in this white boy's mind, he can justify shooting me and killing me on video. That can't be a thing, man. You know what I'm saying? And throughout the course of the day, different conversations were being had on Facebook, man. And what you realize is that there's certain people, man, that they just know what they know, you know. But I will say this. I'm going to say this to all the black people who listen to this show. Both of you. Hi, Mom and Dad. Nah, for real though. For everybody who check out this podcast, man. And if you're a white person and you check out this podcast, listen to me carefully, man. Stop saying, as a way of justifying police killing black people without any type of a punishment coming their way, stop telling me that more white people in this country get killed by police than black people. Because you sound like an idiot. When you're 70% of the population, yeah, that's going to be a thing. The raw numbers are going to be, yeah, that's a thing. But per capita, by percentage, my black ass is 3 times as likely to get killed by someone wearing a badge than a white person. Those are facts. So the whole notion that it's some sort of media spin, some sort of race baiting situation that's been created by the media. Black people, you got white friends, stop letting them think that way. Stop letting them twist facts around and then claim ignorance to the real situation. Especially when they, also when they want to start bringing up quote unquote black on black crime. Well, I don't hear black people talking about black on black crime this way. Well, how many have you tried to have a conversation with them about it? And second of all, when you start caring about it, when you start caring about a black person killing another black person. Yeah, right. Just now to try to defend the stupid point about cops killing black people. But here's the reality in that situation. And we'll get ready to take a break here in a second. Here's the reality. The penitentiary is full, overflowing with black people who've killed other black people. I can't say that way for these crooked ass cops. I can't say that way for the cops that kill a black man in front of his woman and his baby on Facebook Live and gets to say, you know what? I was scared for my life. Look at him. He's black. He got dreads. What you thought I was supposed to do? I got to kill him, don't I? I guess. Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to do. So that whole notion of black on black crime being a thing that can counteract police violence towards black people. And I'm not just talking about police killing black people. I'm talking about just disrespect, brutalizing, things, all those things, man. Like you ain't got to go all the way to the extent of killing somebody for it to be wrong or for you to need to be punished. It's the One Mike with Big Mike show. We'll come back, talk a little bit about the NFL kickoff tomorrow, man, and as well the depth of the NFL. And we got somebody who I think realizes what leverage is. Somebody who finally in the NFL realizes what leverage is and what the only thing that they have to leverage as an NFL player. So we'll talk about all that. And I got to try to make sure I get to this LeVar Ball situation as well as some NBA talk as well. We'll do it next here on the One Mic with Big Mike show, man. Live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Spreaker. That Spreaker app, tune in, and the One Mic with BigMike.com website. I'll be right back.
Well, I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at onemicwithbigmike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
We asked kids what it took to be a dad. This is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try. He's just a constant force in my life.
There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
One Mic.
All I need is one mic.
It's just different.
One Mic with Big Mike.
The overall tenor of what he's saying is very stupid.
And they say his style is too urban for the radio.
Maybe it's not racism. Maybe it's placism.
Brother has to know his place, right, Bob?
One Mic with Big Mike.
Things aren't always what they seem.
A sports talk show, but no subject matter is off limit.
Don't just tell me that the reason something's being done is because that's the way it's always been done. Because the first thing I'm going to say to you is slavery.
And now, your host.
I got the big homie here who needs no introduction.
Big Mike.
All I need is one mic here on a hump day.
Hump day.
There it is. No doubt, man. Don't forget, if you didn't get a chance to hear the first hour of the show, you can always check it out on demand anytime on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com, and on the Spreaker app. Make sure you go to your app store and download that so you can take me with you anywhere you go. You can also hear me on TuneIn and the One Mic with BigMike.com website, as well as on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And, of course, the Facebook live stream will be pumping forever. I never delete them. Something's going on with my notes here. I want to tell you guys this story, man, about this kid, this white guy who spent a year eating Domino's pizza, eating a whole Domino's pizza every day, for an entire year, over a year. And he lost weight. What kind of foolishness is that? His name is Brian Northup, who calls himself the Lord of Pizza. He ate an entire Domino's pizza every day for a year, and he somehow actually lost weight. Now, see, we've been fooled by this before, have we not? Jared from Subway. Jared was out here talking about he ate Subway every day and lost a whole bunch of weight, only to find out part of his whole shtick, or part of his deal, was he liked to watch kiddie porn and child molest. Let's hope that's not the same for Mr. North up here, trying to get a Domino's commercial deal, some sort of weight loss plan for Domino's pizza. And meanwhile, you look on his hard drive and it's nothing but baby porn and, weirdness on his damn computer. Yeah, I found that to be very, very too much like something else. So anyway, tomorrow, man, football's here. So you guys and girls who are, standing with Cap, first of all, salute. You know what I mean? Salute to you. But also understand that ship is sailed, man. Yeah, that ship is sailed for Kaepernick, man. And I'm sorry to say it, man. I called it many months ago, man, that they would use some sort of excuse. They would find some sort of excuse to not allow this man to play football anymore. The latest coming from your man, Ray Lewis. Yeah, Ray Lewis said he sat down with the owner of the Ravens. And this sounds so, God, it sounds like such a childlike lie. You know what I mean? Like, I was just about to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you tell your kid, like, I thought I told you to wash them dishes. Well, yeah, I was about to. I was just about to. No, the hell you wouldn't. You know, but that's the lie that kids tell. Oh, I gotta reopen my notes here, man. Something tricky and stupid is going on with my notes, and I gotta find this dumbass Ray Lewis commentary. You know what I mean? Your man, what the hell is happening here? Oh, okay, here we go. So, Ray Lewis was on Showtime's Inside the NFL, and I can't believe I missed that. I should have tuned in there, but for whatever reason I didn't. So he explained why he believes the Ravens never signed Colin Kaepernick. When me and Steve Bisciotti, him and the owner, were talking, this is what we were talking about. Somebody needs to explain to me, does Ray Lewis have an official, does he work for the Ravens in some official capacity, or is he just their Negro mascot when they need a Negro to speak against another Negro? Because that's what it comes on. I didn't know Ray Lewis got signed on as any type of advisor or any type of executive or anything like that with the Ravens. But, you know, I guess if having your nose up your old boss man's ass is a position, Ray's got it locked down, according to this. So we were talking about giving this kid an opportunity to get back in the National Football League. Again, who is we? Like, see, I told y'all before, I stay away from the whole cooning and all that kind of craziness that y'all love to do. But here's the reality. That sounds like one of those things that you hear in one of those slave movies. Like, you know, we tired, boss? I know we ain't feeling well today, boss. Now, who is we? He's the one that's making the decision. It's his money. It's his checkbook. So we were talking about giving this kid an opportunity to get back into the National Football League. This is Ray Lewis talking. Look, this is what I wanted to share with people. I've been fighting for this kid behind the table like nobody has. First of all, it's behind the scenes, or you're getting paid under the table. You can't really combine those two things, idiot. I've never been against Colin Kaepernick, but I am against the way he's done it. That seems to me like one and the same. You know what I mean? That seems to me like one and the same thing. But we'll carry on. Then his girl goes out and put out this racist gesture and doesn't know we are in the back office about to try to get this guy signed. Steve Bisciotti has said it himself. How can you crucify Ray Lewis when Ray Lewis is the one calling for Colin Kaepernick? I'm just going to let that sink in for a minute. Like, this is how this dude speaks. How can you crucify Ray Lewis when Ray Lewis is the one calling for Colin Kaepernick? Since when? Since when? Like, because either you're lying or you're a coward. Because you could have done this you could have done this publicly. Instead of saying he need to shut up and what was the wording he used? Let his play on the football field speak for him. Like, those two things are the same. He goes on to say in this quote, when the Ravens called me, it was to say yes or no. What the hell? Who the hell has Ray Lewis making decisions for the Ravens? Don't they have a GM? His name is Ozzie Newsome. And he's a damn good one as well. Why do they need Ray Lewis to sign off on Colin Kaepernick? Does this not just smell and reek of Schulbit? So he goes on to keep saying we, right? We were close to a deal. We were close to a deal to sign him. Steve Bisciotti said, I want to hear Colin Kaepernick speak to let me know that he wants to play football. And it never happens because that picture comes out the next day. The picture is of Steven and Leonardo DiCaprio from Django hugging, and then Ray Lewis doing the same kind of pose with this dude Steve Bisciotti after Ray Lewis's final game when they won the Super Bowl. He talks about Bushati flying Kaepernick to Baltimore, and how he's sitting there with all three of them, and we all have a conversation about bringing Colin Kaepernick in. It's like, here's the thing, man. Where this argument falls apart is because before all of that, before old girl puts out that tweet, which no one's showing any empathy to her and saying, I can see why she would be frustrated for her man and feel like she needs to say something. No one's saying that about her, which is a very, because I'm married to, she's, I think she's Hispanic, but even still more so, right? I'm married to a black woman, and she wouldn't want to see nobody doing me dirty or trying to do me dirty. And she may, step out and do something like this as well, especially after this. After the Ravens, they reached out to fans. They took the temperature of the fans about signing Colin Kaepernick. And it came back, F that. Hell no. So you mean to tell me this dude was still... He did that to get to gauge the response. And even after he got the response, was like, yeah, you know what I'm going to do? Bring this dude in because I want to hear from him. You're lying, B. Ray Lewis is an effing liar. And this is a guy who's trying to ride this little wave and try to save face because he know he got killed for all those for meeting with Trump about his bum ass liquor. Call himself going up there to talk about black people. Nah, you was up there peddling liquor, B. Then with the whole, like I mentioned earlier, just play football. Don't worry about, standing up and being a voice for people who are essentially voiceless. Don't do that. Kiss my ass, dog. And then, and if those of you who want to really get down to the nitty gritty of things, I found this to be interesting too. That Colin Kaepernick actually has a better career touchdown rate, interception rate, average yards per attempt, and passer rating than the starting quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens. So if you're looking for a serviceable backup, I would say based on that, Colin Kaepernick is more than serviceable. Based on the fact that in so many of these important categories, he's better. He's been better than Joe Flacco. But, no one cares about that. Everyone's looking for their reason. Well, we don't even know if he wants to play, or this, or that, or his girlfriend's tweeting about this. Instead of just saying, instead of just being like, look, he's too much. We're gonna kowtow to the pressure of idiots, and we'll fall in line with those idiots and ignore a real issue. The city of Baltimore got to see that real issue up close and personal, and should be a little bit more empathetic to someone saying this needs to stop. But they're not. And that's fine. But I don't feel like black people, we should be the ones to fall in line with this ridiculous stupidness, man. Yeah, man, she did cost him that job. No, hell, she didn't. Because if it came down to her, what was the purpose of you even trying to gauge the fan response to it first? Then, as soon as Joe Flacco goes down, you start gauging fan reaction. That tells on you right away, immediately. Can I go back to this Michael Bennett thing for a second, just real quick, because these things are popping up on my Facebook here. Over something that was said earlier. There was this conversation going on Facebook earlier about the police. After the shooting went on, the police were telling everybody to stop, and Michael Bennett was running. He was leaving the scene, which, where I'm from, you know what you do when people are shooting? You go you leave the scene, no matter what anybody is saying. And a comment was made during this whole back and forth that was going on, and I'm just sitting there reading it, but eventually I stopped and said, wait a minute. Somebody just said he's lucky he didn't get shot in the back, and I'm thinking to myself, and I even think to myself, I wrote it. I was like, is that where we at? Where now, as black people, as black men, because this is a room full of black men. It's a Facebook group of black men who have now found a way to make it acceptable for the police to shoot somebody while they're running away, and no threat at all is being posed. We've got black people saying he's lucky he didn't get shot in the back, and saying he's a fraud. The letter that he wrote and the fear that he was experiencing was a fraud because he didn't do what the police said do. This is what happens a lot of times with black people. Society changes the rules as we're concerned, right? Because Michael Bennett, as he portrayed the scene, wasn't the only one doing. Gunshots rang out and he was bouncing, getting away from from where the gunshots were coming from. And he said he wasn't the only one. But he ended up being the one on the ground with a knee in his back and in handcuffs, the big black guy. And in this situation, man, to hear people like look like me say that it would have been some sort of, and then when I bring it up, the dude that said it was like, man gone. Nah, for what? And I just left. Because that's not a conversation that you can have with somebody. Like, once that happens, and then it start getting to a point where dudes start getting, like, doing that thing that y'all do on Facebook where it's weird. It's like, I don't even understand. I don't know how to describe it, where it's like, somebody says how you real tough on social media, and the other person said, I'd be this tough if I was in your face. And it's like, but y'all still typing. Like, no one's around each other. You might not even be in the same state. What the hell is happening? So I was like, this ain't really that serious to me. Ignorance is going to be ignorance, and stupidity is going to be stupidity. And you realize real quick, man, that these things have happened throughout history where, again, that whole Stockholm syndrome thing, where because it's happened so many times, it becomes a situation like, you better be good for massacre. And then that thing has kind of just trickled down throughout time. And that attitude is like, man, he better be lucky he didn't get shot in the back. No, that's not how it works. That's not how the police are supposed to work. And the fact that people have gotten used to that, black people have gotten used to that being a thing, is troublesome as hell, man. For all y'all people out there who like to pray and talk to yourself and call yourself praying, those are people you need to pray for, man. Because that's not a one-off. It's not a singular thing that happens in those type of situations, man. People saying things like that. People trying to convince me that, the bigger problem is black people killing black people. All right. But I don't call gangbangers when I feel like someone's breaking into my house. How many times we heard that story? Someone calls the police for help, and by the end of the day, their family member is dead. I can remember at least 3 cases in the last 2 years. Someone just called for help. The family member may have been a little bit intoxicated, or a couple times, like one kid was in a wheelchair, another kid was naked, and he had mental issues, had psychological issues, and he ended up dead. That's it. They ended up dead, man. And it's gotten to the point apparently now where those things are just, it's just par for the course. If you're a black man, your rules have to be different. Your rules need to be different. F that, man. My rules shouldn't be different. I'm an American. You feel me? I'm not an American with an asterisk on it, except for when I'm an American, but nah. It's just period, not comma. But so many of y'all, man, have fallen victim to that, man. Y'all just, it's the worst kind of slavery, man. The slavery of the mind. When you feel like, what I'm saying, the things that other people are fighting for, or fighting against, should just become like mainstream and normalized. Yeah, and that's the other thing. And I just read something else, man. You know what I mean? Because the police now, and also because the police say something, they say something opposite his story. I have to believe them, right? Well, they're the ones that have something to defend. There's video of them brutalizing this dude. They're the ones who have something to defend at this point, not him. But I don't know. I'm just here so I won't get fined, I guess, man. You know what I mean? It's weird, man, and it's one of those things, man. It just makes me like, you know, I do this show, but that part of it, man, you know, because I need to be a part of the social media community to promote the show and things of that nature. But golly, golly, 404-902-8104 if you want to text the show. You can also jump inside my live and interactive chat room here on Spreaker. Just go to the Spreaker app or Spreaker.com or to the OneMicWithBigMike.com website. You'll see a little thought bubble icon on the streaming player. Just click on that. It'll get you inside the live interactive chat room. Hey, also, make sure you sign up for your free Spreaker accounts as well. That way, when the show goes live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Spreaker will send you an alert through your email or whatnot and let you know that I'm here and I'm doing my thing, man. So you can share me, tell all your friends about me. Follow me on social media at One Mic with Big Mike, the number one, MICWITHBIGMIKE. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like my Facebook page where I'm streaming live video right now. You guys, you want to, you can check it out. My man Bobby's out there. A couple people checking out the Facebook. I mean, I appreciate y'all too, by the way, man. Like, you know, messing with me on this Facebook situation because, you know, it's a little bit to it to get it done. But I appreciate y'all, you know, taking a little bit of time out your day to holler at your boy. Where do I want to go now? I have this article here about the death of the NFL. And the article points to the dip in middle class participation in youth football. And first of all, that's not going to lead to the death of the NFL. And I've mentioned this before. It's going to lead to a different looking NFL for some people, which is going to be uncomfortable. Like, you're going to have more NFL quarterbacks who look like Colin Kaepernick and less like Tom Brady. You know, and what I mean is more melanin, probably more tattoos and, you know, like DeAndre Francois hairdos and what's the other kid's name? Jalen Hurts hairdos and things of that nature. It's going to change. But the article makes a decent point in talking about what's going on in the minds of parents as it pertains to their young athletes. This coach named John Herrera was interviewed for the article, and he said just 4 years ago they had so many boys signing up for football that they had 5 teams of players at the 4th grade levels. Now, this year, 4 years later, they've got 1 team. You know, that's a palatable, noticeable, obviously, drop off in participation. And this is, you know, middle class, middle to upper class neighborhoods. The article describes people as sipping lattes and things of that nature in the stands and whatnot. The coach talks about the parents being worried about the brain, because that's the thing. You know what I mean? That's real. Like, information is abound. So if you want to ignore like concussions and CTE and all this kind of thing, my man Dr. Benedict Amalu, what's his name? Benedict Amalu, the guy from the concussion movie. He's very, very straightforward in saying, look, kids shouldn't play football until the age of 18. NFL don't need to hear that. NFL don't want to hear that nonsense. And for the most part, I think most people hear it. But as I state so many times, they're going to always be kids who carry the burdens of relieving financial pressure from family members on their backs. And for those kids, the risk will be definitely worth the reward if they can sign a multi-million-dollar deal with the NFL and pull their parents or whomever out of certain levels of economic hardship. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I meant to look this guy's name up because I mention him all the time. He wrote a book about the ghettoization. He called it the ghettoization of football, and it's not what you think. It's not racial or anything like that. It's a term that was used for the Army when at one point it was looked upon as a noble thing for upper class people to get into the military, into the service. Well, after a while, people understood that there was like an inherent danger. Like war started breaking out. So it's like, I might go and I'll never come back. This is not me just going to basic training and then, traveling the world and all these things, being a part of the Navy or the Marines or whatever. No, people was actually fighting. And with that happening, like people like Donald Trump, got deferments. And I don't know, did Bush got a deferment so they wouldn't have to go, these upper echelon people. And it became more of a way out of bad situations for lower class people, for lower income people. And this guy mentions that the same thing is going to eventually probably happen to football because of more and more information and more science coming out about chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, and the way football tends to contribute to that sport more than any other sport. As much as football wants to tell you about soccer, as much as football wants to tell you about lacrosse, the fundamental difference is that football pretty much promotes the usage of the head. I can't remember who that was that got ate up last week. The kid from Michigan, I think it was. Kid just came off the edge unblocked, and he never saw him coming. He just unloaded on him. And the first thing I saw was they was like, that's a textbook tackle. That's exactly how they teach you to do it. He put his shoulder into his chest, kept the head out of it. Meanwhile, ignoring the fact that this kid's head bounced off the turf twice. Boom, boom. That's a concussive blow, man. Don't be fooled, sports fans. Understand what you're looking at. For as much as you can, understand what it is you're looking at. That you're not looking at a situation where all concussions are caused by two heads colliding with each other. No. A person's head, you can get a concussion like in a car wreck. You can get a concussion without your head colliding with anything. The whiplash effect by your neck causing your brain to slam against the inner walls of your skull concusses you. And that's without your head actually contacting anything. So, yeah, the NFL's in a problem. They've got a problem. I don't think they're going to be dead. The NFL is going to die. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, at least. Not in a couple lifetimes, at least. It's too much money to be made. There will be probably an issue also of these same kids that I'm talking about who are looking to get their families out of dire situations or whatever, or lower economic situations. With the money being what it is, and the owners are going to try to suppress it and keep it as low as they possibly can, keep the contracts as janky as they can possibly make them so they can cut you at any time. But I do see probably more of guys like, I'm not playing this game till I'm 35. Yeah, I'm not even playing till I'm 30. Let me get to about 29-ish, that second contract, maybe that third extension, if I can, get it there. Because, let me think, you get to the league at, let's say, 21. By 24, you're signing another deal. Probably about 27, you got to renegotiate that one. Yeah, that third deal, and I'm out. I've done enough with the money that I have. I'm secure in, where I'm at financially. I'm not banging my head against other human beings anymore. I could see that happening more and more. We've already seen a rash of it in the last, 2 or 3 years. Young guys, younger and younger and younger, saying, you know what? I've got a nice little, cushiony start to my life. I'm going to stop doing this and go do something that don't involve me blowing through a tube or speaking with my eyes in my later years, or not knowing where I am. I'm going to the grocery store and then I forget the way home type situation, and I'm only 45 years old. Right here on this show, man, my man Ruben Jones said the craziest, most eerie thing to me. When I asked him what his biggest fear was, he said turning 40. I'm 40 right now, and that never crossed my mind. I've taken my share of hits at the college level, but not from grown ass, mean, roided up dudes. Let's keep it real. PD or whatever, HGH dudes in the NFL. Nah, it's a little bit different, I believe. All right, final break of the show. I want to come back and I want to talk about leverage. leverage in negotiation as it pertains to the NFL. And also, I want to talk about something new that's coming from the NCAA. And I got to get this LeVar Ball thing out before it just gets too old for me to even mention it. So we'll try to do all that. I'll try to do all that before I get up out of here for the night. It is the One Mic with Big Mike show live on Spreaker.com. The Spreaker app, tune in, and OneMicWithBigMike.com every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday starting at 7 p.m. Share it, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a damn friend. I'll be right back.
Well, I have one question for you.
Do you or someone you know run a business that could benefit from additional exposure? The One Mic with Big Mike show is currently taking on new sponsors and advertisers. One Mic with Big Mike is currently syndicated across 8 different online platforms, and your company's name could be heard and seen across all 8 as well.
Let's get to work.
Please send all inquiries to Mike at OneMicWithBigMike.com. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your continued support.
All I need is one mic.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
And now back to One Mic with Big Mike.
And here we go!
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. Work it harder, make it better, do it faster.
Welcome back to the One Mic with Big Mike show. Last segment of the show. Appreciate you guys for joining me out there. Don't forget, if you didn't get a chance to check out the entire show, you can also catch me on demand at any time, anywhere on Spreaker.com, the Spreaker app, TuneIn, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And, of course, the OneMicWithBigMike.com website. Don't forget the Facebook live stream is going on right now. If you want to get involved with the show, send me your questions, your comments, whatever, criticisms, by posting them below the Facebook live stream. You can also text me. Text the show at 404-902-8104. That's 404-902-8104. Don't forget, too, if you're listening to the show on demand and not live, you can still text the show, and I'll mention your comments or whatever the following show, whenever that may be, in this case, Friday, or if it's a Friday show on Monday or whatnot. So you can still, the text line is always open. It's open 24/7, 365. So 404-902-8104. You can also jump inside my live interactive chat room. Do so by clicking that little thought bubble icon you see on the streaming player if you're listening via Spreaker, or my website. Click the little thought bubble icon to get you inside this little chat room I got set up here. You guys can holler at your boy. And I'm about to click this button and see what happens. I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm an idiot. All right, whatever. So let's talk leverage. And it's something that around this time of year, we find out, like really who's about it, who understands the game that they're in. My man, Aaron Donald, as I'm sitting here speaking right now, from what I understand, Aaron Donald has still not reported, to LA Rams camp. He want more money. My man has outplayed his contract. In fact, I do not have Aaron Donald's stats here in front of me. Maybe I can pull them up real quick while I'm talking. He want more money. And I say this every year, man, when dudes are complaining about their money. In the NFL, you got one bargaining chip. And that bargaining chip is your services. If you withdraw your services, that's all you got. And in certain situations, as it pertains to like guys like Le'Veon Bell, they changed that whole franchise tag situation to where like you have a deadline to where you can sign it or negotiate a long-term deal. And once it passes, you're stuck for that year. So with his situation holding out, there was no up to it other than the fact that, of course, he didn't want to show up and get injured or whatever, come to work for no reason and get injured. So all he did was hold out until he absolutely had to be there week before the game. Well, in Aaron Donald's situation, he's accrued like $1 million something in fines, which won't get, they'll just add that on to the contract when he does sign it. He'll miss. He's not going to play this week, obviously, because he's still in Pittsburgh from what I'm seeing here. So he'll end up missing a game check as well. But, to me, it's one of those things where I think he may understand that he can just get it back on the back end. They're not going to charge him that money. You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. And I'm still looking for his damn. You ever use freaking Bing? I have to use Bing while I'm doing this live stream because for whatever reason, I guess Google Chrome takes up too much damn whatever. Too much. I don't know. It's too big or whatever, and it messes up the live stream. So I got to use this freaking Bing situation. All right. So here's his contract detail. He signed a 4-year deal. He's a first-round pick, so he signed a 4-year deal with a $5.6 million signing bonus, which averages out to be about $2.5 million a year. His guaranteed money at signing was $10 million, and he's set to become a free agent not in 18 but in 19. So he's got 2 more years left on this deal, but he wants to re-up now. And the LA Rams, as though they got that many more priorities. I mean, look, if I'm Aaron Donald and I see money, I see Tavon Austin re-upping last year, which was a boogie deal anyway, because they about to cut his ass probably pretty soon here. It's an NFL contract. But if I see that happening, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get money. I gotta get this popping. You know what I mean? Actually, he's got 1 more year on the deal after this one. So he's got this year and next year on the deal. He'll be a free agent in 2019. So for what it's worth, he's one of the guys who apparently gets it. You know what I mean? You see these dudes playing, and you see these dudes playing like under duress, like DeAndre Hopkins did it last year. Antonio Brown did it the year before, and it all looks cool. Like I'm down for the team when it works out, and you make it through the season. But what happens when you get injured? What's the team still gonna honor? Gonna honor your performance when you're damaged goods? No, hell no. Last year, Aaron Donald, he played in all 16 games, tallied 47 tackles, 11 assists, 8 sacks, 5 passes defended. I think the year before that he had double-digit sacks. Yeah, because he got 28. Nah, this ain't true. 28 sacks on his career. The dude was a beast. He's a monster. Like, outside of Ndamukong Suh, J.J. Watt, interior lineman, it don't really get no better than Aaron Donald, man. So when you start talking about people and what they worth and all these kind of things, just understand. Because eventually they'll turn this thing into a situation where fans are like, especially with this team, because they'll be losing and they'll need someone to blame and they'll find him. But understand this dude is handling his business in the only way that's left to him to handle his business, because he's not dealing with any type of guarantees contract-wise. He's got to go say, look, I got to withhold my services in order to prove to you guys what my worth is, obviously, because you don't recognize it on its own, like on its for what it's worth, face value, you don't recognize it. So shout out to him, man, and like I ain't gonna say I hope it works out because I don't care, he don't give me none of the money, but it's just good to see people, dudes handling their damn business, man. Which time I got? All right, we gotta get to this LeVar Ball situation, man. Because this is like some ratchet stuff, man. He's come out with another shoe. Well, he or whatever, the third boy has his own signature shoe. What is his name? LaMelo has his own signature shoe. And immediately, as soon as I saw somebody post this on Facebook, I posted a GIF of I guess it was Ned Flanders just kind of like thinking. And I was like, yeah, the NCAA just sitting back looking like, And the kid's got 2 years of eligibility left in high school, right? And your man and his, shoe sales or used car salesman way of being, he talking real reckless and real hot about, how ain't nobody gonna tell him what to do. He says, quote, he's gonna have a shoe. NCAA ain't gonna tell me S because they're not my boss. That's what they do. But they're not gonna be like, oh, LeVar, you can't bring that shoe out until we tell you. What? Something that I'm doing for my family, that's mine. I'm not under no umbrella, end quote. Like, all that stuff is cool and fine. You know what I'm saying? You want to buck the system, because I hate the NCAA too. I think it's stupid. Like, if that dude want to have his own shoe, he should be able to have his own shoe. He shouldn't be made. I guess he's made a commitment to UCLA. So UCLA is going from, are they going from Adidas to Under Armour or from Under Armour to Adidas? I can't remember. But either way, they've got shoe contracts. The coaches in the school have shoe contracts, but then they use the players as walking billboards, whereas they force them to wear only that brand. Yeah, that's stupid. But here's the thing. Bucking the system is one thing, but bucking the system in a way where it could eventually, it could hinder and hurt the kids' eligibility, because we've seen that scenario play out more times than probably we like to, where a kid's been cost his eligibility, thinking that he could circumvent it, and like, well, screw college, I'll do this other thing and then go to the league after that. And it never seemed to really work out for any of those dudes, football or basketball. Oh, you say you want to know how much the shoe costs. Well, it's called the MB1, and it's not for $4.95 like the other shoe, like the Melo. Was it the Melo? Wait, hold on, his name is Melo. What's the other kid's name? You know who I'm talking about. The kid that plays for the Lakers, LeVar's other kid. It's not $4.95. It's $3.95. So you get $100 off for the high school kid's shoe. Yeah. As far as the NCAA is concerned, though, they put out a statement saying, quote, generally speaking, a college athlete or prospect paid for use of their athletic reputation or ability risk their future eligibility in that sport. This includes profiting from sales of items bearing the young person's name. Because didn't someone else have, him, LeVar Ball, had the kid, the other kid, what is that other kid's name? The kid that, his oldest kid, had him on the website at UCLA, told him to take it down. So all this tough talk about they not gonna tell me, they told your ass last year. They made you take your son off your website for your company, for your family company. So that whole nonsense about somebody ain't gonna tell him, it's tough guy talk. But the proof is already in the pudding, because that plus the fact, guess what? We also know your other kid is a freshman at UCLA right now. You kind of just skipped over him though. Right? You just kind of skipped over him when it came to like the whole signature shoe thing. LiAngelo. Yeah. You kind of just skipped over him, huh? Why? Because as soon as you do it, eligibility gone. NCAA is coming, he's swooping in, cuz. Like this dude, like he played a fool, and I think he is pretty foolish. Because he's one of those dudes that got a plan for everything, man, and thinks he can gauge how someone else is going to react to his stupid actions. Nah, man, that ain't how it works. So he says to them, they're not going to tell me, just another quote, they're not going to tell me what I can do for my son and my family. He's not even in the NCAA. And that's the first thing they're coming up with, instead of saying, oh, that's a nice shoe, because that's what they do. They critique people's shoes. That's what happens. So he's got this whole plan of like, if it does cost him his eligibility, they'll just sit out for the next 2 years and just work out. He'll do the training. He'll train his son for 2 years to be ready for the NBA. That's a bad look, cuz. You know what I mean? And then he's got the kid. The kid's like, I'm not worried about it. I'll worry about it in 2 years. Well, that's what a kid should say. That's what a 16 or 15-year-old should say. They're the ones who worry about things like day to day. Like as a parent, man, and I'm far be it for me, man. I'm not that guy, man. even in this type of situation, tell somebody how to parent their kids specifically. But like just generally as a parent, man, I feel like it's your duty to have a little bit more foresight, man. Because like, what's the rush? What's the rush of this kid having a signature shoe now? Especially like he's playing like AAU ball and all that. Unless the inevitable hook is to be like the Adidases and the Nikes, where they got like these AAU teams fitted out with all their shoes and getting into the college game that way. If that's the deal, I still don't think you don't need the young kid to have his shoe. You got the older kid with his shoe already. I don't know, man. This seems like a setup, man. It seems like one of those things that he feels like he can probably, talk big about now and then squirm out of later. And, for the kid's sake, hopefully it don't end up burning him, man. Because when it all comes down to it, if this kid is going to have to, he saw his older brother play college basketball. His younger brother's a freshman now at UCLA. It would only serve the right that he would want to do that as well. He would want to have that experience as well. And for that to be robbed from him because his dad has got this harebrained, first high school kid with a signature shoe, maybe just pump your brakes, B. You know what I'm saying? If the kid is that good, there'll be plenty of time for that. You know what I'm saying? There'll be plenty of time for your t-shirt company to become a shoe company. The whole thing about the $1 billion evaluation and all that, walking into Nike and walking into Adidas, like, give me a Billy. Come on, man. Come on, man. Lonzo. That's the kid. Dang, it just hit me. Lonzo Ball is his name. Jesus. I suck at names, B. All right, so a couple of things. We're going to wrap it up and get the hell out of here. Some of the things that I didn't get a chance to talk about the last few days, or I just kind of omitted for whatever reason. This little rumor, this thing about Boogie, the Cavs like dangling this first round pick they got from the Celtics vis-a-vis the Brooklyn Nets to get Boogie Cousins to Cleveland to play with LeBron and as well half the season with Isaiah Thomas, and we'll talk about that in a second here. Yeah, people seem to be like big on this, but we've seen, man, that LeBron and not Dwayne Wade is proposed to be getting bought out. Where am I from? Bought out by the if it hadn't already happened, bought out from the Bulls and joining LeBron. So then it'll be LeBron and Derrick Rose and IT and Boogie and Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. LeBron doesn't do well. Dwayne Wade doesn't do well. Isaiah Thomas definitely don't do well with those bigs clogging up the lane like that. And Boogie is the penultimate big in the NBA right now, man. He's that dude. He's probably the most skilled big in the NBA. But when you start talking about just because of talent it's gonna work, not really. Not really. That plus the fact that your man Isaiah, yeah, dude, yeah, Danny Ainge unloaded a lemon, dude, because the way they're talking about this hip situation that he has, the fact that it was bothered, that it was bum months before they decided to shut him down. He just like grinded that thing out, and the way they describe it, man, the way that they describe it, it's something that's not easy to recover from and come back stronger from. You know what I mean? So yeah, they got rid of a lemon and traded it in for like a Maserati and Kyrie Irving, man. So all you people who start talking about this craziness about how the Cavs won this trade before you've seen any games being played and before you've seen any draft pick being used, yeah, you want to reconsider now? Like this dude, he's putting out videos and Players Tribune about how hurt he was by the move and all this kind of stuff, and he's still hurt by it. Yeah, fine and dandy. But in the business sense, you did the right thing. You got to get rid of that immediately. Because if you're not sure of how he's going to come back from that hip, especially with him saying that he might not want to have surgery, now they talking about 6 months on the shelf for him. Yeah, man. Good for them. Yeah, go get it now. Like, Danny Ainge trying to wait around for no championship, especially when he got a championship point guard now on his roster. I'm not sure that Isaiah Thomas was is a championship point guard, man. History has just told us, man, under 6 feet. If he's your main scorer, your main superstar is under 6 feet, you're not winning crap. Jack crap is what you winning in the NBA. And here's a thought I had earlier too, man, that was kind of like ratchet as hell, but like he's gonna be a free agent at the end of the season. And Danny Ainge has still said a bunch of glowing things about him. The city of Boston still loves him. Like, what do you think about now that they know that he's racked up and he's all on some, he's probably got to pull back on that whole back the Brinks truck up situation when his contract time comes up. Well, why don't they just bring him back? Have him and Kyrie on the same squad. You know what I mean? Like he used to come off the bench, right? Isaiah used to come off the bench in Sacramento, did he not? It's just a thought. I know it's far fetched, but because emotions are involved and people, they say you can never go home, and who wants to go home and then be a backup when you were the main guy? All those things. But I was just thinking, because what's the odds of like LeBron leaves and they talking about, let's say they do get Boogie Cousins. Well, his deal is up as well. You know what I mean? And then you got Isaiah Thomas's deal is up as well. So, yeah, that cupboard is going to be bare pretty soon. And he's going to have to find somewhere to go play point guard. You know what I mean? Somewhere probably other than Cleveland. Because who wants to be in Cleveland? A LeBron-less Cleveland. Not this guy. And then finally, the Houston Rockets, in the midst of everything that's going on down there, man, their team has been sold to a restaurateur for $2.2 billion. It was bought for $85 million some years back. The same guy put in bids for it and lost out to the current, or I guess the former owners now. But now he's back in for $2.2 billion. That's $0.2 billion, $200 million more than Steve Ballmer paid for the Clippers. Yeah, these cats is getting money. These NBA cats is getting like straight cash, homie. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Billions, man. These dudes are talking about billions of dollars. Golly, if only. If only. Yeah, so that's it, man. That's gonna do it for the Hump Day edition of the One Mic with Big Mike show. Once again, if you got people, in Florida, man, and they not being idiots like my dad is being, tell them to get the hell out, man. Tell them to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like implore that they leave and worry about the stuff after the fact, man. This storm, Irma, don't like it's effing around with anybody, man. You know what I mean? It's wiped out. It's damn near wiped out. I guess Barbuda is heading toward Puerto Rico. Cuba's gonna get it probably. Maybe Haiti will get it again. I'm not, geologically inclined or whatever, geographically inclined. But they definitely saying, man, it's supposed to go like straight up the middle of Florida, man. From Miami to the top. You got people, man, tell them to get the hell out, man. My dad's being a jerk, but that's who he is. That's going to do it. The One Mic with Big Mike show. Don't forget, can be heard on demand on Spreaker.com. Or you can download that Spreaker app, and make sure you download the Spreaker app. Tune in, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and YouTube. And don't forget the OneMic.com website. Enjoy your football tomorrow, man. First football game since the Super Bowl. Got the Patriots and the Chiefs, man. So enjoy your football. And y'all be safe out there, man. All my folks in Florida, all my folks in Houston, man, just know, I'm rooting for you. You know what I mean? No doubt. And remember, all you need is one mic.